Right. Welcome everybody to our Wow Wednesday testimonial call. We have this call every week, and we are so glad that you're here. We're so thrilled that you're here to join us to hear about all the different testimonials with everything. As you can see in the background, this is just a small portion of all the products that we have now with Solex, and it is growing probably every 6 months to a year. We just got back from Day of Discovery where they released two new products over here, the Blue, the Pulse, and also this new iTerra AO frequency wand that is, let me tell you, top notch. Dr. Sheila, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, it was an amazing, for me, it was jaw-dropping weekend. My mouth was literally on the floor the whole time because I just couldn't believe there's more. How can there be more? Just continues to blow my mind. And we've had a lot of people calling because we've let the word out, people that have been disgruntled with some other things that now have a much better choice. And so I am very, very proud to be able to offer the world such premium quality at such reasonable pricing. I'm just so grateful.
Me too. Me too. I'm going to make sure everybody's muted. Um, so please mute yourself unless you're going to speak. I'm going to go ahead and read the disclaimer before we get started. So the disclaimer is in the chat for those of you that do want to see it. It's the AO scan technology is not a medical device. The statements that we share here have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. If you are sick, please consult with your healthcare provider. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and close out of this back window or this back screen. Just know that whenever you're sharing any testimony, it can be on any of the products that you see there in this background picture. So feel free to use any of these as your testimonial if you're having a good result with any of these products. Our flagship product, of course, is our scanner technology that we speak so highly about. But in the event that that there are other products that you love, feel free to share because there are many here that are new to Solex and they want to know a little bit more about what we have to offer. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of that back screen while if somebody wants to just unmute and start sharing, please feel free. And just unmute yourself and share whatever testimonial that you have.
Hi.
Hi, Cheryl.
So I have been waiting to share this testimonial, but I was putting off for quite a long time because of circumstances in my life. And I have to say, I've been using the scanner now, Sheila, 8 months, something like that. I came in skeptical and everything like that at the very beginning because I'm a skeptic, but I got it and I started using it on a regular basis. And I started noticing the change, just a little subtle change in myself. And not just that, but a lot of things, being in Canada, different weather changes, more things on my farm. But this past year, I have been excessively under a lot of pressure. And I've been driving every day for 8 hours, or once a week for 8 hours to look after my elderly parents, and then flip around and come back for a lot of trauma in that time period. My mom passed away in July unexpectedly. But prior to that, I was dealing with my 89-year-old dad having a broken hip while I lived somewhere else. I played my frequencies continuously. And I mean, when I say continuously, at least 3 or 4 times a day, but playing them enough you actually start waking up to the frequencies, and you actually start going to sleep with the sound of the frequency, because your body learns it needs to adjust itself all the time if you get out there in nature and do all that stuff. So I just want to say that the inner voice probably brought me to a point where I should be almost hysterical because of trauma and emotions, to just walking through this as calmly as calm as can be. And people keep saying to me, do you need something? Like, how are you managing? And I'm like, I got everything I need. I got my Solex, my inner voice, and now I got my affirmations. What more could I need with what we've been given here? I mean, I got my God, don't get me wrong, that's always with me. And I eat very healthy. But this has been a big saving grace with this. So
Thank you so much for sharing that, Cheryl. I know it might be difficult for some people to understand the stress that you've really been under, to understand how significant this is. My heart was just breaking for you every day with all the things that you were going through. And it's like, I feel so helpless, but I'm so grateful that you have your scanner.
Oh, I know. And, it wasn't, my mom had a rare autoimmune disease that none of us really knew about. And while I would go and visit, or not visit, be there for a week at a time, I always brought this with me, and I would put it on her. And she was sleeping like 20 hours a day. But when she put this on, she even got to the point where she'd be like sweeping the floor. She's like, oh, I feel a little bit better. And we would do it regularly. But unfortunately, because of the injury she got, she went into a bit of a dementia, a delirium state for quite a while. And I think like this was the only thing that would bring it out, and frequencies would give her a better day. So I'm sold on all this stuff.
Yeah, how awesome the things that you were able to offer your parents at such a difficult time. What another blessing.
That was
Mm.
beautiful, Cheryl. Thank you for sharing that. Well,
Thanks.
hold on tight, because we're going to have even more stuff coming. I just don't know how much more we can, but Lauren's heart just really is out there. So I am just so excited for the things to come. Anybody else have anything that they would like to share? If you are just popping on, feel free to unmute yourself and share whatever testimonial you may have. Or if you don't have a testimonial, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat.
I wanted to mention something that Lauren told me the other day. We were on a call and having a discussion about something, and he said, we were talking about the scan and how when you run a scan, you can't run another scan for an hour. So we were probably asking questions for groups or people or something. And he said, did you know you can optimize multiple times? He said, you can optimize every 10 minutes. And I said, I never thought about that. So you're automatically getting an optimization when you run the scan. But if you've got something going on that you really want to hone in on, you can go back and hit optimize as often as you like. Nobody has to have a degree to do that. Just
Nope.
teach people to hit optimize. Oh my gosh.
It's incredible. We have such a simple thing in the palm of our hands if we would just use it. I mean, it just
And
takes less than seconds to use.
yeah.
Anybody else like to share? Okay, well, I just I cannot hold myself from this then. The pulse. I have to tell you guys about the pulse. I was telling Dr. Sheila this afternoon when we were talking. I have lost 15 pounds almost effortlessly since I've used the pulse. Now it is true that we have started going back to the gym and walking, but then we've been gone for 2 weeks, going to Day of Discovery, and I got sick. All of that. But I've been using the pulse as a beta tester for about a month. And then, of course, we've got this wonderful, magnificent, methylene blue. And that might also be helping as well. But every day, and I haven't made a practice of jumping on the scales, but every day I have been, and it has literally been anywhere from 4 to 8 ounces that I'm losing on a daily basis. I've always eaten clean. Scott and I have really cleaned up our diets, and now that he's even on this journey with me, it's a lot easier because we both want to do the same things. But I've always been a clean eater. I've always, really been very mindful about what I put in my mouth, where it comes from, how it's sourced. But just, and being able to go to the gym and work out, one of the reasons why I went was because I was feeling like I was losing my balance. My legs were hurting quite a bit, so circulation issues. I believe this pulse is the next best thing. I feel incredible on it. I feel like $1,000,000, even though I'm sick right now. I'm getting over whatever we got at Day of Discovery. I'm on the tail end of it. I went to a ozone sauna today, which really seems to help. But all in all, I have to tell you guys that pulse is amazing. So if there's a product that you want to try, I'd say try that out, especially if you've got some pounds to lose, if you have any blood pressure issues, things like that, because it has been incredible for me. So anyway, that's just my testimony.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I would like to say that blue, um, coming home for me really stunk. It took me 2 days to drive because every hour I literally had to pull over and sleep. I was in so much pain. My eyes were burning and my ears were throbbing. My throat was all swollen up and sore. My head felt like it was going to pop off. My whole body just hurt. And I started pumping the blue, and had my 660 with me. I got home and literally dumped the stuff in the living room and went straight to bed. My son came over and fixed me some garlic soup, but literally had it knocked out in about 4 days. And this is the nasty stuff. It's the nastier stuff than what we experienced 3 years ago. And I was an early adopter back then too. So I'm grateful that a lot of us got this because we're going to be set for the season. But I'm telling you right now, make sure that you are getting that blue into every single household. That stuff is amazing.
And add it to your bright.
Yes, I haven't done that yet, but I'm going to.
I actually added it to my bright, and I'm doing my underarms with my inner illuminator to see if it will help with the sagging. So we'll see.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's a little experiment I'm doing. Of course I blow too. I've been blowing the wand there for I don't know how long, but nothing's really changing with that, but not with our wand. I'll try with that.
I did use R1 too in my mouth, down the throat, and that did offer some help, and in the ears and down the mastoids down in here where it gets swollen really bad. And I just did a lot of that on the face, and I mean, I felt relief.
Nice. I'll have to incorporate that too.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't, Leslie. It doesn't. They, in fact, somebody in the chat said add blue to bright. Yeah. Shelby actually is the one that suggested that, and it does not turn your skin blue. It does not. I've been using it for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 days now. So it does not turn your skin blue, I promise.
And if you put it in water, so Kai had told me he does the pulse and the methylene blue before he runs. So I started putting it in my water before I leave for the gym, and it doesn't stain like pumping it in your mouth.
See, now
So
it does me that way. So I just shoot mine. I just lean my head back and then I pump it down the back of my throat. But I have a denture, you guys, so it doing it in the water, it still stains. So
okay.
I tried it one time and I'm like, nope, can't do that.
Leslie had asked about the pulse too. Now people need to understand that pulse, that's going to be individual.
Yeah,
that
it is.
10 pumps is a general dosing, but some people can only do 4. I was in the beta test group and I was doing 10 every day, twice a day, and I got nothing until we went to Day Discovery and I got a double dose, and then it was like, oh, now I feel it. Yeah. So I need a little bit more. Some people are going to need a little bit less. You need to self-dose this.
Yeah. Yeah. So start off small And then just, every day, if you're not getting any type of a flush with the pulse, then add another pump the next day. If you still don't, add another pump and just keep adding until you, like my friend Michelle that lives here in Oklahoma with us that came today, Discovery, she wasn't feeling anything either. And then I think she worked up to 22 pumps now, and now she's feeling it. So everybody's going to be different.
Another thing I'd like to share about that, so there was, after we had Desert Storm, that was one of the most highly toxic wars we've had. I had a lot of friends there and a brother there, and the chemical exposure was beyond anything any of our militaries ever experienced. And so when they came back, they had to figure out what to do because those guys were sick. And the Dr. Wu actually developed, it was a niacin flush protocol where they used heavy doses of niacin, some exercise, and infrared sauna to detox these guys. So this niacin flush, and Tammy's testimony here about some weight loss possibilities, this is actually detoxing the cells. So any junk that's hanging out and cells that have accumulated to hold on to that because the body wasn't able to get rid of it, that's another benefit here, is it is detoxing the junk.
I can add to that because today I went to see my friend who also was at Day of Discovery. She has an ozone sauna here just a few miles from me. And I have went to see her, I think, 3 times prior to this. And typically they put a towel on the little seat and she's able to see what toxins are coming out. Well, for the first couple of times, I didn't have anything. There would be like a little teeny tiny mark or whatever. So not really a lot showing up on the towel. Well, today I had residue on the towel. Of course, I've been sick. And maybe it's the pulse that's helping to pull out some of this from my cells too. So I am anxious to go back. I'm gonna give myself a couple days to process, but I am gonna go back and see her because it usually takes me about 3 days to process the ozone sauna. But I'll go back and we'll see if we have some more. So that was big for her to see and for me. But I have a sauna at home. And I used my sauna, and she thought, well, maybe that's the reason why she's not seeing much come from me. But now that Dr. Sheila just said what she said, I thought, oh, it could be that. And of course, I use the blue too. So since Day of Discovery, I'm using the blue 3 times a day because I'm trying to get rid of this junk. And you're just a caution, your urine is going to turn green if you're using that much. Don't be freaked out. Because we were at first, we're like, oh my God, our urine is green, but that is just one of the things that happens. And it's usually at night when that shows up for me. So I'm assuming that maybe I've kind of saturated my body with it. So
Mine's green all the time now. It's just green now.
that's great.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I know that we were using flush niacin to really help people with diabetes to be able to clean out the arterial wall. And it was a really big protocol here for us in Canada. We a little bit proactive in our healthcare system because of the cost of diabetes. So in reality, this is kind of cheap for when you're looking at something that could definitely, change someone from maybe losing a limb, right?
Right. Wow.
But I guess we're not allowed to say that, are we?
No. We don't want to say stuff like that, but
Okay, sorry. I'll just say that maybe it's good for people with diabetes to have it as a supplement in that direction. Okay, is that better?
Something to help. Yep. I know that Scott has never been diagnosed with that, but I know he struggles with it because his mom, both his mom and his dad did, and that is one of the things that we have really been controlling with diet. And he hasn't started the pulse yet. I'm like, you better get on that because he does suffer with high blood pressure too. So
I wanted to do a quick DOD and Cephii testimonial.
sure.
Mike, my husband, came with this time, And I just want to express how important it is to get your spouses there, or at least to a virtual, and what a change that makes just for support. You know, even if they're not doing the business with you, but they are usually, because they're helping out in some way or another. But Mike's the type that never gets sick, never hurts, you know, mind over matter, I'll be fine. And he's pretty healthy. But when we were walking in the airport to DOD, on the way there, he had to stop several times, stretch his leg up. He was having terrible pain in his knee. And he never, ever has body pain like that. So after 3 or 4 times, I said, let me just do the knee pain homeopathic symptom Cephi for you. And within 15 or 20 minutes, not only did he have no more pain, but he was pressing and he couldn't really even touch the area. It looked like medial meniscus area, and he couldn't touch, and he was pressing as hard as he couldn't feel a thing. So when they're there, or when they're really supporting you, and then you have something show up like that knocks it out, it's just really good. I'm glad he's feeling better. But I think seeing it all together with the group, with DOD, I've seen a change in his excitement over it. So that's all.
Thank you.
That's
Jean.
awesome.
And in the chat, I'm putting what DOD means for those of you that do not know what that is. It is our day of discovery that we have. Well, we have it in person once a year, and then we have a virtual one in March. And this March we'll be back in North Carolina. So
Get your rooms booked. They're filling up fast.
yep.
Shelley, Lewis, you had something a while ago you were wanting to say?
Well, I was just gonna say, I know that I put it a little bit in the group, but I thought I would just tell everybody. So, we had the call, I don't know how many weeks ago, it was probably about a month or so ago, and you guys encouraged me to do the scans every day on my son. And even though I didn't need his voice, and I could just do it in silence, and I've done that, and I've been doing it consistently for every day. I might have missed 1 or 2, but pretty much every day. And then now I'm actually putting those tones in a playlist, and I'm telling you, he's like so different. He's very calm. And even when he gets like a little bit of a behavior, if I put those tones on, they stop immediately. It's like nothing I've seen, nothing.
Wow.
And I've worked hard at him. He's 22, so.
That's incredible. I hope some others that are skeptics that see this, because there is no placebo effect even with these autistic kids. It either works or it doesn't. So that's incredible, Shelley. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, and I can actually see when I turn those tones on for him, you can just see his whole demeanor change, and he's just so much calmer, and you can see that he feels them. And
Wow.
he's not even hearing them. I don't even have the volume on for him. He doesn't want to hear them, but he reacts to them in such a positive way.
Wow.
It's crazy.
What a blessing.
Yeah.
It is a blessing.
I can't wait. I've moved my mind sync thing to a event, and I'm hoping to help quite a few. So if you know of anybody that wants to come in, that will start October 1st. So I'm looking forward to, messing with that and seeing how that helps some of these kiddos. So, and one of those kiddos happens to be very dear to me. So I'll be sure to share some of the results when we get going.
Shelley, are you in groups with other moms in your situation?
I actually run a nonprofit for families who have children with autism.
See what a community that you can touch now.
Yeah.
I know. That's why I was telling Tim, I'm like, I'm in the group. I want to know everything I can do to help these families, because, we go to these doctors and they want to just put our kids on so many meds. Miralax, I swear, is like the standard. And it's so mind-boggling for me, because I've never went down that. Thankfully, I've never done that. I've just really worked hard at trying so many different things. and not having to do that. But it's, I mean, Alzheimer medicine, I've heard so many things. It just blows my mind. And these kids by 4 years old are on so many different drugs. And then by 10, they're in and out of, hospitals to detox. And it's just it's a cycle.
Yeah.
And I feel my heart just goes out to them, but so many single moms and they just don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So
Wow. You're going to be able to help so many people.
Mhm.
yeah, that's what I'm really excited about it, because it's not something that we even have to, like, I've done a lot of supplements and families say, oh, I can't get my kid to take them. They're so picky. They don't want to eat anything. They don't want to take anything different. And this is so different that they don't have to.
Yep.
They don't have to do any of that. It's just turning on those tones and things, and the kids don't even have to do anything really. And it's amazing. I'm so excited for it.
That's great.
Oh,
All right. Anybody else like to share anything?
Hello. Let me
Hi,
put my
Tina.
camera
Go
back
for it.
on. How are you guys doing?
We're amazing. How are you?
Well, I'm trying to put the camera on and it's giving me a hard time. So I was going to show you guys something. Okay, so remember my broken arm, and I think a few of you seen my photos, right? That I posted. So I have today I canceled my orthopedic surgeon appointment because due to insurance. So I have yet to go back to see him for a more current x-ray. And because of the insurance again, I had to postpone my therapy for my arm that was broken. So anyways, here's where I'm at.
oh my gosh.
So yeah. So the only thing I have going on, and I'm on my phone, so this is it, is almost looks like a birthmark. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Kind of looks like a birthmark there where the blood pooled. So that's kind of where I'm at. The weight, lifting up a gallon of milk, my husband says, don't do it yet.
Oh,
I can with support of my left hand. But yes, I am not fully mobile. I'm limited to what I can do, but
And are
it's
you
better.
just
And that's
doing
just
the
me.
scanner, or are you doing some of the other therapies with our?
I'm using the scanner. I'm doing, the voice and everything else. There's the broken bone, broken femur. There's 2 different ones. So I've run both, sometimes back to back. And then sometimes at night, if I'm not running my husband's scan throughout the night for restless legs, I'm running it on me with my other phone for my arm. So the broken bone thing. The other thing I'm doing is the red light. And just a few supplements. The only thing that is not a supplement is the Aleve I take every now and then.
wow.
So yeah, this is it.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, and I programmed. This has the broken thing there too.
Good.
So yeah, I'm excited to get my right arm back because I am
No
right-handed.
kidding. Wow. That's awesome.
How long ago did you break your arm?
Was it July? Was it June or July? I think it was July 26th.
Just 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Awesome.
So, and again, the coloring, the blood pooling is pretty minimal. So
Wow.
looks like a weird looking birthmark now.
I'm sure.
So I'm hoping that goes away.
Yeah, I'm sure it will in some time.
Yeah. Now I still get pain up here where the break is, but that's about it.
It's incredible.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking forward to shocking the surgeon when I go there.
I bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Record it.
I will try.
I
Definitely will try.
I'm always wishing I could see their faces.
Mm-hmm.
I know when
Well,
Scott injured his arm, and cut it wide open, his surgeon was like, I've never seen anything heal this fast. He goes, what are you doing? He goes, well, we use this little frequency device and another little frequency device and some essential oils, but other than that, nothing else.
yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing I'm doing is some oils too on it.
Good.
But that's pretty much it.
Incredible.
Not just on the strength.
That is awesome.
That's great. So exciting. Anybody else like to share?
I'll go.
Yay.
Yay.
Hi, guys. I
Hi,
shared in
Brenda.
my group, or in the group earlier about my dog groomer the other day on Monday not feeling well. And I checked in with her the next day and she said, I asked how she was doing. She goes, oh, better, but still not 100%. I said, well, I'll run some more frequencies on you. So I ran it probably about another 3-4 hours on her. And I said, I'm stopping the frequencies. I'll just just to let you know. And she wrote back, whatever you're doing is amazing. So this is awesome. So
Oh
I
my
thought I'd
gosh.
throw in that little extra tidbit. So 2 days in a row. I didn't check in with her today because I had a crazy day, but yeah, kind of cool. I love doing that. Like, let me help you, and bam.
So
That's
cool.
awesome. That's awesome.
Maybe I could just chime in here for a minute.
Yes.
Yay, John.
Hi, John.
Hi there. Nice to meet you all. I'm just a newbie here, but
Welcome,
obviously,
welcome.
thank you so much. I'm quite intrigued about what I'm hearing and excited. And I know that I know a little bit about frequencies. Been involved in it now for probably 7 or 8 years. So so I really like what's going on here. And then I guess one of my because I came in a little bit late because of the time difference, I kind of got messed up a little bit on Pacific time. So all of a sudden, well, Sheila did send me an email, but I heard the call yesterday and I thought for some reason it was, anyways, I'm here. So I'll get into it. But I was going to say, does anybody have any good pet stories that they could tell me about that with using the device? Tammy, maybe I missed it. Maybe you already said it, but maybe you could repeat it. Would that be okay? Because I've got a dear friend on here, and Brenda jumped on too, so we both got mixed up on the time change, and we're quite involved in pets, and so it really is dear to our.
Well, if anybody knows, I am the pet person here, and I'm sure there are some others that are emerging, but I have helped. I'm in the process of helping another, but I have helped so many dogs and a couple of horses. The scanner is just amazing, even with them. The animals that I have helped have all been either just got tons of tumors throughout their body. One of the last animals I just did, her name was Possum. It's a friend of mine in Arkansas. And he called me up and he said, hey, Tammy, and I had him on a call, and if I can get the recording, I'll send it to you, John. He called me up and he said, look, I think Possum is seeing her last days. I said, well, what's going on? And he said, well, she's got these tumors all over her body and she's kind of walking sideways and she can hardly walk. I said, well, let me put her in the scanner and I'll start running some, scanning her every day. And I just did this out of love because I really wanted to see, what it would do for them. And they were really strapped for money. And I said, let me just do this for you guys. So I would scan and optimize her every day, twice a day. And I would broadcast frequencies that were just for her. And I would broadcast them up to 2 hours a day. Some days I didn't need to do it that often because he would message me and say, hey, she's up eating, she's up doing this. I'm like, okay, great. And then I got to where I was just muscle testing and just asking how long she needed it. And we moved in that direction. And he ended up after about 3 weeks of doing this, he basically said, he goes, I think she's totally fine. I think she's going to live another, maybe a couple of years. And I went, that's awesome. And the dog is actually 16 years old. And she's been through a lot. She's had Rocky Mountain, and that's kind of what he feels has kind of brought flares about. I also helped his partner's cat who had something go on with her eyes. Within about 3-4 days, that cleared up. The horse was coughing. The person was nebulizing the horse. We did some scans. I actually detected that it was an allergy of some sort that the horse was getting. Found out that the horse was getting some minerals that had something in it. And this has been about a year ago. But the minerals had something, some sort of formulation in it. And once she removed those minerals and replaced it, the coughing stopped, all of that stopped. But in the meantime, I was scanning the pasture, I was scanning the water trough, I was scanning the horse. I did all kinds of stuff, but found out if you just scan and then look into the scan, sometimes you can discover things like allergies and things of that notion. I also helped my dear, she's gone now, Piggy Britches. She went into complete organ failure. And our veterinarian, who's actually a part of, putting this scanning information together, his name is Dr. Gursky. When he asked to look at Piggy Britches scans, he said, Tammy, I'm sorry to tell you, but she's an organ failure and there's no way that you're going to get her out of that. And I said, over my dead body. So I got to work. And she was sick. She got sick in October. By November, about the latter part of November, I had drove her down to Texas where he was at. He took one look at her and he goes, "This is the same dog?" And I said, "Yeah, afraid so." He did an exam of her and said, "She's completely fine." He goes, "How did you do that?" And I said, "I just scanned and optimized every day. I ran Cephes on her. I did my terahertz on her. I did patches on her. I did all kinds of things for her. But I still feel like today that it was the scanner that did everything." Now, she did go ahead and get sick again in March of this year, and she passed the day after Easter. But I honestly feel like her illness was a lesson to me to help others. So I'm completely grateful for her in the lesson that she taught me. So now I can help more animals. So if you need help with animals, I'm here. I'll help you as much as I can. I absolutely feel like there is a calling that I'm being called to with animals, and that is definitely what I'm trying to do too. So feel free to reach out at any time.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Tammy. Much appreciated. Wow.
You're welcome.
Definitely hear your heart there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It is my heart.
Tammy, do you know the equine lady that was posting when we got Cephi dots? She was doing videos and meridian points. Who was that?
Oh no, I don't know who that is. But I do have an equine lady, and she's not on the call tonight, but it's Shelly, and she's also an animal communicator.
Okay.
And she's phenomenal as well. She can tell you, she's actually a horse chiropractor, and she does all kinds of things with horses. Now, the lady that you've seen in the Solex video, I don't know who that is.
Okay.
I've seen her again, but I can tell you that Shelly would be an amazing person that I can connect you with, John.
Great. He's got a new member as well. We just had a call this evening that's animals. So that's going to be powerful.
It will be. All right. Anybody else like to share anything about any of the products? Don't be shy.
We want to hear. I learn something new every single week.
Yep. Go ahead, Brenda.
Thanks so much. So thank you so much for letting me be a part of this here tonight. This is all brand new to me as of today.
Nice.
But not the terahertz frequency stuff. That's something that I've been doing since April of this year, and I've been using the iTerra Classic.
Yeah.
And I've been working with animals for over 10 years. And what I've learned was that it's all about the nutrition, right? We've got to feed our animals good food, because if we're feeding them garbage, you're getting out what you put in. So my journey over the years has come from feeding kibble to my dogs to, you know, if you asked me if I would feed my animals raw, I would have come out swinging at you. But now I produce my own raw food here, lying in Winnipeg, Manitoba. So, you know, never say never, but nutrition is key.
Yep.
And one of the things that I use in my animals, and I've worked with over 1,000 paralysis dogs. I've worked with thousands of animals from literally with every health issue from A to Z. One of the things that I use that is a staple in my world is something called enzymes. And it's enzymes with a capital N. And what it is it's a living nutrition supplement that you add into the animal's feed, like whether it's horses, dogs, whichever. I am really curious to know, with these scanners, will that reflect on that showing the level of nutrition for these animals? Really? Because can you imagine then what I can do with this? Because the enzymes company would be all over. If this is something Brenda wants to do, they would give me my wings, because that's tens of thousands of people that we can potentially help. Like all of this today, like this scanning stuff, my gosh, you guys, like, holy crow. So I'm really excited for it. So if I can be of any help with people with their animals, whether it's allergies, autoimmune issues, I have a website that has some incredible stories on there, anything, heart issues. So I think together with this, I think this might be the final piece of what I've been looking for, truly, to be able to help people. And that's what I do every day. I talk to people all over the world and help them with their animals. And then in turn, it turns into helping them too. So, oh my goodness, God is good is all I can say, because that's incredible.
You're welcome. Now, Brenda, are you with John? Is that where you came from?
Yep.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm with John.
Okay, so we just got the food sensitivities released for the animals. So now you don't have to run them as a human under the human scan. Now you can actually run them with their scan, and we have the food sensitivities. It has helped me immensely with my new rescue dogs, because I rescued 2 wiener dogs, and I just absolutely love them, and I make their own food for them. Now, that has helped me immensely to be able to kind of rule out, well, you know, Sunshine's having issues with green beans. I'm not going to give her green beans anymore. So it is an incredible tool, and if you need any help whatsoever, I'm here. I'm here to help.
Awesome. So then what I would like to know then, and maybe this is something we can discuss off of here or whatever works, what do I need to get me started? Because I know I want one of the new wands, but I want to also learn this scanning thing. So
Okay.
maybe if I could be directed into what do I need, like, because I've always got a house full of animals. We've got 7 dogs right now, 2 cats, 2 rats. We always take in the sickest of the sick, the dying dogs, the ones that are here in Manitoba from the rescues or just families, because everybody in Manitoba knows who Brenda Johnson is, because I help everybody, and I've never done what I do for money. And I think that that's also too where this is a really good fit, because we're not here to make, like, I'm not here to make money. I am just here to be able to save and change how many more lives. So yeah, so it's something that I'm really, really passionate about. And I think I just need to know where I need to start, you know, with the starter kit for me. And then do you know, with the scanning for the animals with the allergies, now I know in Western medicine ways, they don't ever test for the allergies included for raw feeding. Is this different? Because I would hate for somebody to say, oh, my dog's allergic to chicken, when your dog isn't allergic to chicken if it's raw, but when it's processed or commercial, it is. So would that tell me that? Do you understand my question? I don't even know that I understand. It sounds good in my head.
You're getting a little deep on that, but there are ways to look at the scan results to know. And that would be something that one of us could cover with you outside of this call, but I'd be happy to do that with you and John. I don't have a problem with that at all. We can do a Zoom together, and I can kind of share with you my experience and what I've done and what I've seen so far, and I'm happy to do that. But that's going to be a little deep. You're going to have to make sure you do your basic training and at least probably phase 1 to know.
Yeah. So like we talked on the call today, John's got that link and you just walk through the steps and then you get joined into the group education, and in your back office also lots of education.
Yeah.
So we'll help you with that.
We'll
Perfect.
definitely
Thank
help
you so much.
You're
Thank you very
welcome.
much.
So glad you're here. Now come every week and share your beautiful testimony, because I know you're going to have a bunch.
Oh,
Yep.
yes,
And
absolutely. I always
bring
do.
your people.
For sure. For sure. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, we got a couple more minutes left. Does anybody else like to share anything?
See lots of lights. Somebody unmute and tell us something awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Go for
Hi.
it. Yeah.
Oh, yes, I would like to just share something that happened with the scanner. I have a 1-year-old nephew, and my brother let me know. So he's in North Carolina, and my brother let me know that he went to the hospital. So he was asking the family for prayer. And so I did. I reached out to him, asked for his permission, and we found out what happened. So the baby had hand, foot, and mouth. And I actually saw that it was on the scanner. So I started scanning him, because hand, foot, and mouth take at least 10 days to kind of work it through. The baby is up, running, going, and doing what he needed to the very next day.
Oh my gosh.
So, and it never even expanded to the rest of his body. It was, when he went there, they just had the bumps in his mouth, and they were expecting it to, of course, go to the bumps on his feet, the bumps on his hand, and it never did that. So
Wow.
videos today just showing him walking around and fine. So absolutely.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's what this is all about, guys. Just come on and share even the tiniest things. I can share with you that I bought the bracelets for my grandchildren. I got one red for Samuel and one blue for Madeline, and I put them in my scanner so that I can imprint them every 3-4 days from a distance. I don't have to have them in person. So I did. Mariah let me know I think it was the day before yesterday that we got back. She goes, he wears his bracelet every day, and I'm like, oh good, I gotta get back to re-imprinting that every three days. Well, she messaged me today and she goes, school was so much better today, and I went, fantastic. So he has some troubles learning because he had some trauma early on. So anyway, I just think it's fantastic. You can even do that from a distance. So if you got grandbabies and you want to do something special for them, you can imprint frequencies from a distance onto one of the little bracelets and give that as a gift. So
Yep, absolutely. And that hand, foot, and mouth, that is miserable stuff. One of my glam babies went through that, and we didn't know what it was at the time. This was years ago, and they were exposed to someone that had recently received the polio vaccine. And that's where this is coming from oftentimes. But that is freaking powerful that you were able to keep them from having to go through all of that horrible. I mean, it's awful.
Yeah, it is. Naraya, your hand is up. Go right ahead. You're muted, babe. Unmute. Let me see if down in the lower corner you'll see kind of a microphone. If you're on your phone, kind of scroll down or push your finger up and you'll see it.
Unmute. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you. Yep.
So good evening, everybody. I had an experience from yesterday. And yeah, Tammy, you don't even know this. And I'm pretty, I do a lot of spiritual stuff and a lot of energy work and things like that, Reiki, etc. And I was going to a cranial sacred appointment yesterday, and I was going down one of our very main roads here. So it's 2 lanes on each side. And out of the clear blue, my car just stops, cuts off. And this is a very main road, and the average speed on that road is probably 55-ish. And this is the surface street, not a highway. And I'm looking in my mirror because I'm assessing what I'm going to do. Get out, can't get to the medium because of the way the traffic is going. Didn't want to get hit, didn't want to cause any other issues. It was very amazing, comforting, awesome to have the clarity that I had to assess this situation with traffic going both ways, 2 lanes, made eye contact with the dump truck behind me that was driving at a very excessive speed and did not see my hazard lights on. They make eye contact with me. They said a couple of choice words because I'm reading their lips and went around me to my left. It was really awesome to have like I said, the patience to see all this, to make assessments. I do clear spaces and objects. I do a lot with my vehicle when I'm traveling, and it doesn't have to be a long trip anytime in the vehicle because I want to be protected. So it was really nice to have that peace to assess that situation and to end up getting out of my vehicle and pushing it back into a driveway and having literally nothing around me on either side and getting to my cranial appointment. And she was really amazed also. So being mindful that there's other things you can do with it. I do my own personal scan every day. I also do spaces and objects. So that's something else to look at also and be aware of, that we have the capability to do that.
Thank you, Naraya, for sharing that. We have such a great tool, and you have to think outside the box sometimes with some of this stuff. Someone asked me how you do imprint from a distance. Put it in spaces and objects under their profile or under your profile, and then you'll make that, make the bracelet a target, like Samuel's the scanner profile, but then the target is the bracelet, and you pull that up in Cephes and you can do imprint right there. So, all right, guys, we are 1 minute away from the Solex call. I cannot thank each and every one of you enough for being here this evening. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We will do this again next week, same time. Feel free to reach out to any of us if you're new, and jump on the Solex call. It's on the YouTube in the next minute. So, Dr. Sheila, do you want to end with anything?
I do. Again, I want to tell you thank you, because when you come, not only are you learning from other people, but you are teaching us too. So please, no matter how small you think it is, please share it, because you don't know who needs to hear what you have to share and how it's going to help them. Thank you so much. We love you. And it's our favorite time of the week. Let's go see what Solex has to say.
Absolutely. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you, Dr. Sheila. Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.